from here. I like this lock down here. What I'll do when I'm doing a regular triangle.
Oh, that's gotta hurt.
Swim down.
Oh yeah, that's gotta hurt.
And then I can find.
Oh my. We've got the bottom guy is defending, and the top guy's got the leg press. And what we want to do, we want to get, in this case, Mike's on the bottom. Derek wants to get Mike's left arm, the one where he's holding his left hand. He wants to get that arm, okay? And a good way is to trap with a triangle situation on that. And you catch it. And Mike brought in a picture of two catch wrestlers from about 100 years ago doing this. We say, how can we replicate that? Because it looked a bit posed.
Yeah.
But I think from a realistic situation, a good way to do it is if you've got, just for me, just my thinking, if you've got him in a leg press position and Mike's starting to try to escape and you trap him, trap his elbow like you're doing, and then form a triangle there. You get a sankaku, and now you've got both elbows, but you certainly got the near elbow for a jujigatame. Just a thought, and that's where I was thinking it, because it sure is an interesting situation.
If we can do a good job of really squishing it in by the tricep before we form the triangle, then we've got both.
Right. Now, Mike, did you feel that on your left arm?
It was a double lock on both for that one.
Okay.
Depending on the angle of the hips, it's either a shoulder locker, but it always, at least each time, has caught at least one elbow. It's also a shoulder lock if you don't get the second elbow, I think.
I see. Yeah.
It's pretty nasty.
From do it again one more time from this angle, and I'm going to ask Mike to do it.
Okay.
So you got the leg press, and he's turning in, he's avoiding, and just go ahead and start trapping his forearm like you've got there. Now form your triangle. Now I think it's also important how you're doing it. I think that the leg that's closest to the head is the leg that kicks over and traps. Yes. I think that adds more pressure.
Yeah, I think the problem with doing it this way is I don't think I'm going to get as much bar with it, and I tend to slip off.
Good point. Yeah, you don't get as much arm in there. Yeah, you will slip. I agree with that. That's really good. Yeah.
And I'm also retaining control over his head by bringing this one up, because I can always roll onto his head.
Oh, that's got to not be nice. I mean, that's poor guy on the bottom.
I think that might actually work better.
Yeah.
So if he starts rolling, I'm trapping right here.
Yeah. So everybody watching this, what we're doing is Mike came in with this really great photo, and we figured out how to get there from about a 100-year-old photo from catch wrestling. Some of you people watching this on YouTube or whatever format you're watching it, you may already know this, but we're having a lot of fun playing around with different variations to see how we can make it happen. And it seemed to me it's the most obvious case where you're going to start from a leg press position like you're doing, Derek. I think you'd have to have pretty great flexibility and maybe really long legs to be able to do it with that leg over the top.
Yeah.
I think the leg over the head is more for a normal size length of a leg. I mean, a really tall, skinny leg might be able to get it from the other side, like in this case, your right one.
Right.
But normally the one closest to his head would be the one I think come over, because you get a little more bar on there on that elbow.
And I can now bar this arm against that, whereas if I'm over here, he can bring it in. Now I'm forced to resort to the bent arm locks, or just ignore the second one and go after this.
Yeah, right.
This way, I can actually go after both of them now. As well as if I have to come back to the original one, or we start playing with bents.
Playing something along that line. But I think if you go back to the way we were doing it, and just getting that triangle on that far elbow,
yep,
and then catching basically a double jujigatame,
yeah,
really. A jujigatame and udigatame together, yeah. Can you show one more time? Now I'm going to ask Mike, because you're the guy that brought the picture in. I'd like to see what your thoughts are.
So So again, pull in nice and tight, come over, triangle.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun working this way. It's like mental, physical chess. Like who was Josh Barnett or somebody said that. I don't know who it was, but
It was Barnett.
Billy Robinson or somebody like that might have said that. I think it's absolutely true. That could have been. I don't know who else it might have been. One of those combat wrestling guys out on the West Coast. Anyway, so Mike, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, that's a.
What stood out to me was him giving up the hook on the head, because I rarely want to do that, but it seemed like he was doing that from here, and so I don't know where he gave it up, but from here, I like this lock down here. What I'll do when I'm doing a regular triangle.
Oh, that's gotta hurt.
Swim down.
Oh yeah, that's gotta hurt.
And then I can find.
Oh my gosh.
That was fun.
I'm saying this with all meaning in a complimentary way. That's just sadistic.
Yeah,
that's.
I'll even secure it and then just.
Let me get it back to you. I'm going to get you stay where you are. I'm going to just get a different angle of how you're coming in here with doing this. And you're trapping there. Mike, I think to pry off, your legs are really spot on, but when to pry his arm free, could you do that again with your legs? Form your triangle and just tuck it in like you did. That was really good. Sorry everybody about the background noise. We're really busy in the gym tonight. Now, when he's doing that, just hook both your arms like we would trap an arm. There you go, and I think you might have that problem solved right there, rather than try to pry it out.
On the video, on the picture, I saw the guy was finishing it up like this.
Yeah, he was posted up.
He was hipping up into it. Looks to me like if you can secure the back a little bit better.
And I know the photo was showing where he was like on his hand posted up, his hips were off the mat. I think that might have been actually posing a bit to make it look cool. But the more elements you have for controlling him with your body on the mat, your buttocks, I think you've got better control over him. Well, that's downright painful. That hurts me doing the video here, you know.
And pulling in on the, because usually from the leg press, we're doing a lot of like collapsing of the elbows to try and keep them from going like this and more elongate out so that we can stretch the arms over. And when Mike is pulling that shin in, it's just collapsing your elbow down. You can't get it back out sideways to get your hands back down.
Right.
It's just collapsing it in no matter what you want to do.
I'm just thinking you could probably see it better if I...
Yeah, let's do a little go-gi situation here where you can show the contrast. It ain't black and white here on the arms.
So once we're through here and catching on the shin, and again, it's easier to get this up here so you can come up and catch, but you'll notice how as soon as you pull in, there goes his wrist, or sorry, his elbows right together.
Yeah, that's quite good. We kick that gi out of the way.
So we're trying like this, you know, Brian maybe he's doing a really good job of not allowing you to do that. You catch the shin, that collapses it right in there.
That saves the move, actually.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's both those.
Yeah.
Both those ways have to hurt. I mean, that's yeah. And the nice thing of this, guys, you know, you want to make it realistic, and we are in a realistic situation. The move you showed us looked cool, but how did he get there? That's the point. And this is what we're trying to figure out, how to get there. And I think a realistic point of view is starting from a leg press position.
Yeah.
Because that's that's what it looked like anyway. You know, that we started, and I think he was just posing a bit to make it look a little more, cooler or whatever. So show it again, and then each of you guys, Mike, you show yours as well, because it's got to hurt. So that's a little bit of double trouble. We've got both the Jujigatami and also the Udigatami, because nice straight arm lock, elbow lock off the far elbow too. Yeah. So
if you kind of hook both of them at the same time and come back at an angle, you're going to get both of them.
You indeed are. That's right. That's right. And Mike, what you're doing is you're trapping him and you're working up toward the top end of his head there. And now you've always liked to trap those legs in there, because it's so efficient for you. Look at that. And then you finish. And also that's very weak for him because his arms are at a high angle. They're not square. His shoulders aren't square. You're really controlling his shoulder as well.
Your hips are really deep under there, so it's...
Yeah, the hips are very deep under there. Look at that.
Compress in on that triangle. You can control pretty well.
And you've got pretty darn good control. Even if you don't have the arm lock yet, you've got good control.
I can see where the guy would posture up to.
Yeah, the photo, he was posturing up and doing this.
Yeah. But for me, yeah, I'll settle down on these hips, push that in.
Yeah, we have a more stable base. We have more points on the mat when on our hips, as you guys are doing here, as opposed to coming up just on one hand like that guy was doing in the photo.
I think it's a little bit easier too to kind of use all your grips to climb up on the guy rather than try and
Yeah, because you've got a good stable base to work from. You know, you always want a good stable base wherever you are, whether you're standing or in the ground fighting, and certainly in this case here. So, any other thoughts on this, guys? I mean, it's really just a what would you say, a triangle double trouble Juji Udigatami. I mean, it's a long name to it. Can you replicate what the photo looked like, Mike? Can you try to do that so we can show what... So here's, as best we can replicate the photo, and it was just a still old photo about 100 years old.
He had this, I believe. He was postured up.
And he was postured up like that.
And so he was really bridging up high.
And you can tell in the photo, the guy was in pain. The bottom man was in pain, yeah. But yeah, that postured up almost to...
I think he even had this deeper on his rib or sternum, so where he could swim back with this.
But again, all he had was that one hand, in this case your right hand, up. That was his only post or base on the mat.
Yeah,
and I think
totally off the mat. And the other guy was bridging on his head too. But
yeah, I think he may have been using this foot to swim behind. Like I like to use the other foot to swim behind and catch a pin.
So he was using his right foot.
I think he may have been doing this because I can really cinch in this right knee much tighter when I'm up here. And it's a bit of a pin. So.
Right. Well, again, if anybody's watching this has any ideas, let us know, because it's a cool move. We like to come up with stuff like this. It keeps our mind. You know, this kind of stuff keeps you up at night. You know, shows you what kind of geeks we are. You know.
Must replicate it.
Yeah. So, any thoughts on that, guys? We'll wrap it up.
I think it's a great move, but it just kind of demonstrates again you're not giving up a position until the other guy takes it away from you.
Yeah.
You know, you're working from your control.
Yeah. I would say this is a good move if you've got good control, like you said, you got good control, and you've got him parked there well enough. He's not getting up.
Yeah.
You know, there's a bit of work on this one in terms of getting your legs in position. But I guess, you know, if you do a little bit of practice, it could be quite automatic response. But still, I think this is one of those moves that you've got to have a good base. And then if nothing else works, you can go to this. It just seems to me it could be a plan B or plan C from some other situation.
Sure.
You know?
I mean, especially the guys who are like super tight, I could definitely see how this would be.
Yeah, like why don't you get him down again? Like you've got him down in a leg press position. And
a lot of times,
and he's just not giving up. Whatever, yeah.
We're trying to dig through here so we can get the far hip and pry out. But if he's doing a good job of keeping his elbows down, that's not coming through. You know, I'm going to be stuck going through here, and there's not as many, arm bar pries, but I can now start working this.
Yeah, and that's one of our pries we do work. But now you're adding more to it with that leg, aren't you? Yeah, look at that.
It's like adding an extra third arm.
Yeah, it's like adding an extra third arm. It only has to be your leg. Yeah.
So maybe, like working it more as a grip break or an armbar lever as we you'd call it.
Yeah, it would be just a way to lever it free and just trap it and then lever free. Yeah. So, okay, guys, a lot of fun. That's how you work through new moves. It's thinking caps. Got to put them on. You know, that a lot of fun to do. What keeps us up at night, like I said before. Yeah. All right, thanks, guys.